Alright, so, I wake up at 2 in the afternoon because I don't sleep good. I check Facebook and I see that IGN has posted something about some new Aliens game. And right after commenting on that, one of my subscribers messages me about the new Aliens game. And right after that, I go on YouTube and there's a video about the new Aliens game. Or LEN. So I think a video is in order. If I can speak English. I'm groggy. Give me a minute. Alien Isolation. So, Colonial Marines didn't work out, and I played that, and Jesus Christ. Again, one of my friends, one of my subscribers who's become a friend, Patrick, he bought 2 copies of this game because he wanted to play with me, and I'm still like, God, you spent too much fucking money on that. Anywho, we played it. We had fun together because we were both making fun of the game, and it was bro time, but the game was just fucking awful, and if you don't know why it was fucking awful, go see my video on it. Alien Isolation. I don't think copying Amnesia is gonna fucking help. I mean, really. And when it comes down to Aliens games, all the movies are really a mixture of, except for the first one, of course. All of them are really a mixture of action and horror. You've got the xenomorphs, you've got this claustrophobic environment, you've got some real terror and some real dread as my cat eats Cheetos on the floor. Kiki, fucking stop! I knocked over the garbage can. Apparently there was Cheetos in it. You've got a mixture of action and horror in the films, except for the first one. The first one is, of course, horror. But it's just like, I've played scary games that have guns. And you can have the horror and the action, and you can have them mesh very well. Granted, there is a jarring sensation with this franchise, but I think that Fear 2 really shows how you can do action and horror at the same time. You can have that tactical, visceral gunplay, and you can have the scary moments. Of course, they don't mesh very well. There's a real big click when you know when you're going into which one. But Alien Isolation just looks like Amnesia with a mod over it, and I don't know what to say about it. I mean, it's super early. I can't really say anything. I want to be a dick and just be like, it's gonna suck. But that's my feeling. So do I be honest or what do I do? It looks like it's gonna suck. And if you come back over here, fuck off. Crazy cat. It looks like shit to me. When I think of a proper Aliens game, obviously I think of the Marines, the Colonial Marines, because they're fucking badasses and they've got cool weapons. When I think of it, I think of a group of Colonial Marines being sent in. You know, maybe it feels all hoorah in the beginning, they're badasses, but before you know it, everything goes all fucked up. Everything goes foobar, and it turns into a struggle for survival. You know, you got to regroup with your buddies. You got to see if anybody's, got in contact with the superiors. You got to get the fuck out of there. You know, it starts off, oh, we're going on a bug hunt, and then it's the bugs are hunting you. But what do you say to a game that's basically just Amnesia with an alien in it? Maybe I'm just desensitized to horror. That's one thing. Capcom's been pissing me off a lot lately with all their excuses. Well, the audience is too old, this and that. Maybe I'm just desensitized to it. I found this out when I was playing recently. I've been playing a lot of different games with people. I played a ton of Dead Space with my cousin Crystal, who's in Germany. And she bought the Awakened DLC so we could lengthen the game. And I didn't realize this until she just outright told me. We were playing Awakened and she didn't want to go first. She's like, you go first. No, you go first. And she was afraid to go around corners because the game was actually starting to get to her. Like the vanilla campaign in Dead Space is kind of eh. The Awakened campaign has a lot of freaky shit in it, despite the shit ending. So if you can avoid the shit ending or if it doesn't bother you, you'll probably like the Awakened campaign. I didn't realize it was scaring her. It didn't bother me. I mean, jump scares are one thing. There's no real tense horror in Dead Space anymore. But the jump scares were fucking her up. And maybe I'm just desensitized to it. Because while I was watching that short trailer for Alien Isolation, all I could think was, it looks like Amnesia and it doesn't look scary. And granted, you can really fuck with a player not giving us the option to fight back, because I didn't see any weapons. Not giving us the option to fight back is a real easy way to artificially initiate fear. And I say artificially because I don't feel it's fear of the game, and I don't feel that it's fear of the monsters. I feel that it's fear of a game over screen or going back to a checkpoint. Because that, in and of itself, is something that we all dread sometimes, even in fucking action games. You know, you get shot and your character's all fucked up and you're red around the screens and you're like, oh god, get into cover, I don't want to go back to the... I don't want to restart, no! That's fear too, and that's what I think is going on when you make a game and you take away the control from a player to defend themselves. I mean, give us a stick, something. Hell, Condemned Criminal Origins had you beating hobos with pipes, and it was still the scariest fucking game you'll ever play. But it's just, I don't think copying Amnesia is going to help the Aliens franchise. I really wish they would just decide to copy games like Fear. You've got the tactical action, the gunplay, but you've also got scary set pieces. The scariest part, the best part of Aliens Colonial Marines was when you were in the sewers. You lost your guns, and there were, I have a message. And they were, I think they're called boilers. They were aliens that would explode when nearby. If they heard you, they came after you. Otherwise, they just sat and chilled out. But it's the best part of the game. And I'm not saying take our gun away every fucking level, but, you know, have something happen. You know, if we're playing the Aliens game, we get grabbed and we get pulled into an area, and, oh god, we're about to get face-huggered, and somebody cuts us free and kills the face-hugger and gives us their sidearm, and then we've got a pistol, and we've got to work our way through the level with the pistol, and then get ourselves a pulse rifle or something like that. I mean, when I think about it, I think, as a fan, I think I could make a better game than Gearbox did, mostly because I give a shit. But it's just, we've been burned so many times. The last game I played that felt really good in terms of an Aliens game was Aliens vs. Predator. I was trying to avoid that yawn. Aliens vs. Predator on the 360 and the PS3. And I liked that game. If you didn't like that game, that's perfectly fine. It's not great, but I liked it. And I just feel if we could do that all over again, but have a lot more features to it. Like with Aliens vs. Predators, you have a lot of different features that are going on at once. The game had stim packs. Your health would regenerate to a point, but you had to keep it maintained. You had flares, which you could toss down to produce more light because your flashlight was piss weak. You could carry at least 3 weapons. You had your sidearm at all times. You could carry a pulse rifle and a shotgun or any other combination of 2 weapons. We could do that over again. The stigma with shooters is a lot of us don't like carrying just 2 guns. Because when it comes right down to it, there's a lot of versatility in situations that happen in games with guns, and you sometimes need a different weapon. Like, for instance, what I hated about Duke Nukem Forever was I had a 2-weapon limit, and most bosses can only be hurt with fucking rocket launchers. So I'm stuck swapping right before a boss fight, and then after that I've got a rocket launcher I can't use, and probably my pistol, because I was going for that achievement. It's not a good scheme. It's not a good system. It doesn't work. But when I think about it, you could do an Aliens game with shooting, with the Colonial Marines, with the horror elements. Just put the Aliens name on it. That's a lot of things that people complain about. Well, it's got the Aliens license tag to it. That's why Colonial Marines didn't do good. Colonial Marines didn't do good because it was a fucking piece of shit. And anybody that liked that game has standards that are lower than mine, and I like Dark Sector. But you put the alien's license on it. You put it on a random fucking planet that's been infested with xenomorphs. Maybe you can find civilians, make that some achievements and trophies. You find civilians holed up and you rescue them or something, or you call in your squad and tell them their location and then they'll be rescued or something like that. You have your Marines, all kinds of random Marines no one's ever seen before. That was the joy of Aliens vs. Predator. None of these guys were who you knew. Hell, Tequila was awesome. Make another Aliens game with Tequila. Let's find out what happened to her. They successfully extracted the xenomorph from her and she's been reinstated into the Colonial Marines. Let us play as Tequila. I'd play that. I would love that. Give us the horror atmosphere and give us the shooting. They can work together. I've seen it work together. You know, the good features about Aliens Colonial Marines, I liked the iron sights because I like shooters and I like being able to line up my shot for a more precision shot. Of course, xenomorphs move so fucking fast, it was pretty mute at that point. You usually just spammed the pulse rifle as much as you could. Once I put a laser sight on my pulse rifle, I never used iron sights with it again. But give us that option. As for gun customization in a fucking Aliens game, don't let me put a red dot sight on the pulse rifle. That's fucking stupid. The second you do that, it turns into Call of Duty. No! Let me put a laser sight on it. Let me put a clip extender on it. Let me put a stock, a better stock on it to help with the stability. Let me put a suppressor on it for, I don't know, quiet. I don't know. No, don't put a suppressor on it because I realized there was an option to make the pulse rifle fire faster or fire more bullets, and it completely changed the sound of the pulse rifle, and I hated it. I hated it from that point. You can put different guns in there and give us different attachments that make sense, but try not to fool around with the pulse rifle too much. You can do that though. You can do the horror and the action, but Alien Isolation, I'm gonna call it now and say it looks like shit. If I'm wrong and it's like a huge success and everyone loves it, then I'll look into it again. But as of right now, it just doesn't look very good to me. And I've been burned by Aliens far too many times. Fuck Gearbox. I don't know what to say about it. I really don't. I want to get your input on it. You guys let me know what y'all think. It's only got one trailer that's up right now. I'll try to put the link in the description if you haven't seen it. And, what do you think about it? Top. As for me, I'm still working on that top 25 video because no matter how I construct the video, people are going to complain about games I leave off. So it's going to suck. But for those of you who are still planning to send me information, I had one guy who sent me a really nice message with his game that he picked, and he picked Legend of Legaia. Dude, I like Legend of Legaia, but it wasn't released on the PS3, the 360, or the Wii, so it can't go on the list. Maybe when I do my top 100 games of all time, I'll put it on there, but I had to ignore your suggestion because it's not in the fucking generation. If you're planning on suggesting anything to me, these are games that were released on the 7th generation, PS3, 360, and Wii. Those are your picks. Have at it. Anywho, I'm going to get back to doing a whole lot of nothing, and it's going to be fun. More fun than Aliens Colonial Marines was. Take care, everybody.